Hey everyone, so I'm going to make another video walking you through the study guide. Your test is going to be tomorrow, so make sure that you pay attention to this video. Pause it, skip around as you need to in order to get the study guide done. Okay, so let me go ahead and open up the study guide. It's in Tuesday's assignment, so from the beginning of the week. All right. And let me zoom in so it's easier for you to see. So I'm going to go question by question, all right? And I just want you to pay attention to what I'm saying, and then in your own words, or even just using my words, write it down as an answer here, okay? This is what I'm going to be looking for in case you do need to retake the test. All right, so what was the cause of the French and Indian War? So basically, the Brits wanted to control the Ohio River Valley for the purposes of settling it, while the French wanted to control it for the fur trade. That's fundamentally what they were fighting over. How did Georgia's borders change as a result of the Treaty of Paris of 1763? There's two things you got to remember. Number one, the western border, it gets set at the Mississippi River, and the southern border gets set at present-day Florida. What was Georgia's role in the French and Indian War? Not much. It played no role, really, in the French and Indian War. What was the Proclamation Line of 1763? So the Proclamation Line emerges after the end of the French and Indian War, and it was a rule made by the king to prevent a potential war with the Native Americans that were left in the gap between the Appalachian Mountains and the Mississippi River. And it was designed to prevent British settlers from moving west of the Appalachian Mountains, even though that was technically, according to the Treaty of Paris, British territory, and they were within their rights to move there. The king knew that if they started to do that, started to settle that land, then there might be a war. Okay. Why were they outraged by this proclamation? Well, I mean, they fought the war to gain access to that land, and now they're being told by their king they can't go there. How did this contribute at the start of Revolutionary War? Basically, it made the colonists mad. It made them begin to realize that they're being treated like second-class citizens, that maybe the king and parliament don't fully understand, their lives. Okay, what was the Stamp Act? Straightforward. It's a tax on paper. That's all you need to remember for that. What was the reaction of most American colonists to the Stamp Act? Well, they were angry, and as a result of that anger, they now began to form into groups like the Sons of Liberty, and in Georgia, the Liberty Boys. As a result of them forming into these groups and applying a lot of pressure to Parliament and the king, Parliament does end up repealing the Stamp Act. You need to remember that for the test. All right, who were the three signers of the Declaration of Independence from Georgia? That's Button Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, George Walton. And the easy way to remember their name is they're all present-day counties that border each other. You live in one. All right. Describe the purpose of the Preamble of the Declaration of Independence. So the Preamble, it justified the colonists' reasoning for declaring independence, basing those reasons on the principles of natural rights. Okay? So basically it's like them explaining to the king and parliament why the colonists feel they have the right to do what they're about to do, which is break away. All right? The Founding Fathers claim our rights were based on what idea? Describe that idea. Again, I already kind of mentioned it. It's natural rights, and it's basically says that, look, we have certain rights that are inalienable, that can't be separated from us, just due to the fact that we're human. All right, so in a lot of ways, it's kind of like what today we would describe human rights. This is in contrast to what the king and parliament believed, which was something called divine right, meaning that all the rights of British citizens, all of those were derived from their king, from your king. All right. What was the purpose of the list of grievances in the Declaration of Independence? It's basically, it doesn't look like one, but it reads like a list of all the specific ways in which Great Britain had wronged their American colonies. All right. So basically, you did this on this date, you did that on the other date. It's very pinpoint and specific. Describe the contents of the list of grievances. I kind of just did that, but it's basically a list of everything that the colonists felt Britain had done wrong. All right. Describe the purpose of the Declaration and the Declaration of Independence. This is that conclusion statement that makes it very clear that the colonists are seeking independence. Why were some Georgians reluctant to support independence? Georgia at the time was a frontier colony, and some people felt like, hey, we may need the British Army to help protect our western frontier from attack by Native Americans. Describe the difference between a patriot and a loyalist. Patriot, somebody who wishes the colonies to be independent, while the loyalist wants them to remain part of Great Britain. What are some of the names for patriots? Whigs, rebels, and of course, patriots. It's another name for a loyalist. Tories is the other name. So Tories and loyalists. Those are the two names we use to describe people who wanted to remain part of Great Britain. All right, describe the impacts, so the effects of the Battle of Kettle Creek. The Battle of Kettle Creek, it boosted the Patriot morale, and it provided them with much-needed supplies that they basically stole off of the people they defeated. Describe what happened in the Siege of Savannah and its outcome. So a combined French and Patriot force tried to take the city of Savannah from the British, and they failed badly. As a result, Savannah would remain under the control of the British for the remainder of the war. All right, list the major weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation. There's 4 that I need you to really, really commit to memory. Number 1, no executive branch. Okay, they didn't have a president. Number 2, they didn't have a judicial branch. They didn't have a court to try to interpret laws. They had, number 3, no power to tax. They had to beg the states for money. And then number 4, they had no ability to regulate trade and interstate commerce. So basically our economy turned into a mess under the Articles of Confederation. Describe the type of government created by the Articles of Confederation. It basically, all it created was a unicameral one-house legislature where every single state had an equal representation. They had one vote. There was no executive branch, no courts. Describe the problems with this structure of government. In a nutshell, it's too weak to do anything, to do its job. So, describe the problems with this type of government, too weak. That's it. What was the original purpose of the Constitutional Convention? That was to revise the Articles of Confederation, not replace them originally. That's what ends up happening. But originally, at the very beginning, all those people gathered in Philadelphia, except for Madison, basically, with the idea in mind that they were just going to fix or revise the Articles of Confederation. Describe the New Jersey Plan. Basically, the New Jersey Plan, also known as the Small State Plan, it wanted to create a unicameral legislature where each state gets one vote. It was based on the system of equal representation for states. All right. Describe the Virginia Plan. It created a bicameral legislature based on proportional representation, which is, again, based on your population. So states with more votes or more people would get more votes in this government. The Great Compromise basically splits the New Jersey Plan and the Virginia Plan, at least when it comes to the legislature. It created a bicameral legislature where one house is based on proportional representation and then the other is based on equal representation. It also creates an executive branch and a judicial branch with an extensive set of checks and balances. This is one of those answers that I really need you to write down in full and commit to memory for the test tomorrow. All right, that actually does it. As always, Zoom people and people in here, let me know if you have any questions or if I didn't fully cover something for you or you want to know more about something. All right, y'all.